Hello, and welcome to another lesson Hyperactive English with Teacher Danielle, where we are in our series on the progressive continuous tenses. Today we will be looking at the past continuous past progressive tense, which answers the question, what were you doing? I absolutely love this verb tense. It is our detective, investigative, getting down to the bottom of things tense. What were you doing? Murder, She Wrote, and Columbo, I love them so much growing up watching them on TV, when I probably shouldn't have because I was way too young, but I loved it. I love when police interrogate the suspects. Where were you at 9:30 last night? What were you doing when the crime took place? This is that tense. Let's get into how we use the past progressive, past continuous tense correctly. So the first thing is that it describes an action that was in the progress at a specific time in the past or repeated habitual actions. So last night we were having a barbecue. So, in the evening, supper time, so 1 or 2 hours, we were having a barbecue. They were always talking on the phone, like all the time. And habitual past action. So the second reason is when we're talking about an action in the past that was interrupted by another action. So while he was sending a text, his phone died. He was sending a text when his phone died. So there you will see the subordinate conjunctions while and when. We use while, which describes an indeterminate amount of time. So this is the action that is the longest action in the sentence, and therefore that will be the action that will be in past continuous, past progressive. He was sending a text. He was texting away. Then his phone died. When your phone dies, it is a short action. Your battery went out. It was dead. So the shorter action will always be in simple past tense, and it is oftentimes followed by the subordinate conjunction when. So while, past progressive, past continuous, when, simple past. The interrupted action, past continuous, past progressive. The interrupter, the action that interrupted you, simple past. I was cutting carrots when I cut my finger. I'm not going to keep cutting my finger, right? You cut your finger once. That's the shortest action. Cutting carrots takes however long cutting carrots takes. And the final reason is when we're talking about two simultaneous actions happening at the same time in the past. While Lisa was washing the dishes, her dad was cooking supper. Same time, but in the past. It was last night. Here we would also use the subordinate conjunction while, because while again is an indeterminate amount of time, but they're both actions happening in the past in an indeterminate amount of time. While Julian was repairing his motorcycle, Grandpa was reading the magazine and giving him the directions. Both simultaneous actions in the past, used with while. Let's look at the sentence structure or the formula. So just like in present progressive, present continuous, we have the subject, the verb to be, but this time we have the verb to be conjugated for the past tense, was, were, followed by the verb ending in ing. So our action, what are we doing? What is the action? What is the activity? What is the event? You can add the complements. I always say, the remainder of your sentence. I wasn't sleeping when you came home last night. That was a negative tense sentence. So with negative tense, we have the subject, the verb to be, conjugated for the past, with our negative, our not, verb ending in ing, and the complement of your sentence. So the question form of the past continuous, past progressive tense. You can start with a WH question word, what, who, when, followed by the verb to be, again, conjugated in the past, your subject, the second verb ending in ing, and the rest of your sentence, question mark. So we could say, what were you doing last night? Who was making all that noise yesterday? When were you cooking while the crime was being committed? Again, remember, you do not have to start the question with the question word. You can start directly with the verb to be conjugated in the past. Were you doing the activity last night with everybody else? And for some more examples, I will be answering the questions that I asked in the introductory video to this series. What were you doing at the end of June and the first 2 weeks of July? Well, for me and many people in Quebec, Canada, June was prom and graduation season. So I was celebrating my middle daughter Abigail's success. We started by preparing her for her prom and wishing her good luck and seeing her off onto her magical night. Then that Sunday, we sat and watched as she was walking across the stage to receive her diploma, and everyone cheered. In July, I was teaching summer school. I was giving grammar lessons just like this one, and it was quite fun. Now you try. For our first sentence here, you can see that it is in the question format. Blank, and our subject is you. Our verb is do. Yesterday, question mark. Yes, that's the one I've been saying the entire video. What were you doing yesterday? Number 2, Helen, our verb is wear, her new dress to the party last night. Helen was wearing her new dress to the party last night. We can use the past progressive, past continuous tense there because a party is a long event or an activity. And so she was wearing her dress for a few hours. And finally, our last example, which is a two-parter. Sarah, verb browse, on TikTok when the police send an Amber Alert to everyone's cell phone. Well, to start with this answer, we see that we have one of our subordinate conjunctions. We have the word when. So the verb that would follow after when would need to be in simple past. So when the police sent an Amber Alert. So in that case, we can look and notice that browsing on TikTok would be the longer activity. So Sarah was browsing on TikTok when the police sent an Amber Alert to everyone's cell phone. You know what? Let's get 2 more examples in, just to be on the safe side. When the accident, verb, happened, he ride his bike. So again, we have our subordinate conjunction when. So we know that the first verb needs to be conjugated in just simple past. When the accident happened. What was he doing when the accident happened? He was riding his bike. So his bike ride took a longer time than, boom, the accident that happened. While the students wait to enter school, a truck crashed into the Simons downtown. This time we have our subordinate conjunction while. So we know that the action after it is our longer action, which will be in our past progressive, past continuous tense. While the students were waiting to enter the school, a truck crashed into Simon's. So it was a simple past tense because, again, a crash took a little bit. And there you have it, the past progressive, past continuous tense, our investigative detective tense. And no matter your English level or your English goals, I am here to help. If you're feeling my vibe, like and subscribe, or hop on over to Hyperactive English and sign up for a lesson today. Bye!